Your next witness, Mr. Lally?
Yes, Your Honor. The Commonwealth will call Miss Rebecca Traers to the stand.
And just keep your voice up, please.
All right, whenever you're ready, Mr. Lally.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
Could you please state your name and just spell your last name for the jury?
Rebecca Trayers, Trayers.
Ms. Traers, what do you do for work?
I am a bartender.
And where is it that you work as a bartender?
Waterfall Bar and Grill
And where is that located?
in Canton, Massachusetts.
And how long have you worked there in that capacity?
About 7 years.
And in relation to where in Canton, Massachusetts is the waterfall located?
In the center.
And is there a typical sort of shift or nights that you would work in regard to working at the waterfall?
At the moment, it's like Thursday, Friday, Saturday nights.
And when you work sort of the nights, what time is it sort of that you start and what time is it that you typically close?
The shift starts at 5, and we are by volume, so it's once like people start leaving, generally around 10 to 11.
And sort of what is the latest that, based on volume, if people are sort of hanging around in the bar, when would you sort of, last call, turn the lights on kind of thing?
12:45 is the latest that we could do last call.
Now, during the shifts that you work, about how many people, or like what does sort of the staff look like in regard to sort of your evening shift?
For upstairs, there's typically like 2 of us with a couple of food runners.
And with regard to entertainment, does the waterfall have certain nights of entertainment, sort of live entertainment within?
Fridays and Saturdays.
And what kind of entertainment would be there on a Friday or Saturday?
Bands.
Is that sort of the same bands over and over, or is it sort of different bands as it goes?
They rotate throughout months.
Now, were you working at the waterfall in that capacity around or on January 28th, 2022?
Yes.
And let me ask you, stepping back for a second, just more general questions. What time does the waterfall typically open?
Open like 11 a.m.
So basically 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. or based on volume when you close?
Is that yes, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, with respect to the waterfall, if you could just sort of describe, I know it's located in the Canton Center area, but what kind of building is it? What, if anything else, is sort of around it?
It's in a condo unit.
So in a condo sort of complex?
Yeah.
And is there a parking lot associated with both the complex and with the waterfall?
Yes.
And as far as entrances and exits, how many of those each are there?
4.
And what is sort of the typical entrance that people would come in?
There's typically 2, one in the front and then one on the back by the patio.
And so the one by the front, where is that in relation to the parking lot?
It's right outside the parking lot.
And so if I walk into that front door over by the parking lot and come in, can you describe for the jury sort of the layout or like sort of how many tables, what kind of tables that you observe there?
When you initially walk in, you walk into like the lounge area. There's about 7 or 8 high tops and then probably 4 or 5 low tops. And then right beyond that is the bar area, which leads into the patio. And we have 2 back rooms also, but those aren't typically used.
And as far as high tops and the low tops, starting with the low tops, about how many chairs would typically be around the low top table?
4.
And as far as the high tops, how many chairs?
6 and 2. We have both.
Now, is there, in addition to being a bar, is it also sort of a restaurant? You serve food? Mm-hmm. And is there sort of how is that staffed as far as the kitchen staff is?
In the kitchen, there's typically 2 cooks at a time. It's downstairs.
And maybe pretty well understood, but just as far as your duties and sort of responsibilities as a bartender, what is it that you do?
I serve drinks and take food orders.
Now, are there people, do you have sort of regular customers that come in on a fairly regular basis?
Yes.
With respect to the bar, is that sort of a full-service bar?
What would full service be?
Poor question, let me rephrase. So you have beer and wine, is that correct?
Yes.
And is there sort of mixed drinks and cocktails and things of that nature as well?
Yes.
Now, when it comes to the glassware that the waterfall has, where does that typically, where does that come from?
Like, where do we buy it? Is that what you're asking? Typically a restaurant depot.
And is there like a certain type of, well, let me start back. So if you're getting something that's either a draft beer or wine cocktail, does the type of drink that you're ordering have any reflection in the type of glass you would receive?
For the most part, yes.
And as far as if you're, let's say, getting a non-alcoholic drink, how would that typically be served?
In a pint glass.
I'm sorry, what was the answer?
A pint glass?
Thank you.
And if you were getting a mixed drink or a cocktail, how would that typically be? What kind of glass would that typically be served?
In like a shorter one.
And the shorter sort of cocktail glass, as far as the weight of that, would that be heavier or less heavy than the pint glass?
The same.
And as far as the sort of thickness of that cocktail glass, would it be thicker at the bottom or thicker at the top or something?
We have different short glasses, but the bottoms are typically heavier in glasses.
Now, on that particular evening of January 28, 2022, do you recall whether or not there was any sort of musical entertainment in the bar that night?
There was a band.
And do you recall the name of the band or what kind of music they played?
No.
But it was a live band, is that correct?
Yep.
And when a live band is performing at the waterfall, where is it in regard to the layout that you were just describing that band would typically set up?
When you walk into the building, it's left of the high tops. There's like a small alcove. We move tables for them.
And once the band is done, what, if anything, do you do with that space once the band clears out?
We put the tables back.
Now, with respect to the waterfall, are you familiar with whether or not there's any sort of security or camera recording in there?
There's cameras.
And as far as the cameras are concerned, do you know sort of where they're situated in relation to the bar?
For the most part, yes.
And fair to say there's at least some interior cameras and some exterior, correct?
Yes.
And with regard to this specific evening of January 28, 2022, have you had occasion to see some of that video from that particular evening?
Yes.
Your Honor, may I approach?
Yes.
Your Honor, at this time, I would seek to introduce and admit as the next exhibit a copy of the surveillance video from the waterfall.
Okay, is there any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
Okay. Thank you.
Your Honor, with the court's permission, I would ask to publish just certain small portions of that at this time.
Okay.
Now, Ms. Gilman, if I could ask for just the first video with the label as far as Channel 1. If you could just pause right there. Now, Ms. Traers, what's up on the screen? Do you recognize generally what that is?
Yes.
And what are we looking at?
Waterfall parking lot.
And so this is the parking lot that you were referring to as sort of the front door that leads out to the parking lot for both the condo place and for the bar.
Yes.
And the video, as far as you're aware, is date and time stamped, and those dates and times are accurate, correct?
The
If you
date,
know.
yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Thanks. Ms. Gilman, you can take that down. And Ms. Gilman, if I could have from channel 3, the first video associated with channel. And if you could just pause there. So Ms. Traers, before you, I think on that desk should be a laser pointer.
Mm-hmm.
So basically all you need to do with that is just click the button on top and then point it at the screen if and when I ask or anybody asks. Okay?
Okay.
So again, what's up on the screen right now, do you recognize that?
Yes.
And what do you recognize that?
The lounge area of Waterfall.
And if you could, using the laser pointer, direct the jury's attention first to that area that you were speaking about where a band would normally perform.
Let's find it right here.
And that's where the band was that night.
Yes.
And the high tops and low tops, if you could, direct the jury's attention to where those would be located.
So these are the 6 people ones, the 2 people, and then low tops.
And as far as the bar area, or sort of where you would be situated within the establishment when you're working as a bartender, whereabouts, if you could, direct the jury's attention to whereabouts that would be.
All the way back here.
And sort of immediately adjacent or right in front of sort of where the bar area is, what kind of table or what, if anything, is closest to the bar?
High top.
Now, Ms. Gilman, if I could ask you to take that one down. If you could, please go to the 6th video listed down for channel 3. And if you could pause there for a second. Now, Ms. Traers, directing your attention up to the video for the, up to the screen for the video that's now up there. You recognize this to be the waterfall as well?
Yes.
The timestamp on it says 1:29:12:01. Is that the AM? Is that correct?
Correct.
And fair to say that or what if any difference do you note sort of about the lighting in this video versus the one from earlier about 10:30 p.m. So,
This one's brighter.
and why is that?
We are getting ready to close.
So you would have turned the lights on at that point?
Yes.
And as you're closing, what are some of the sort of final things that you're doing as you're sort of closing up shop?
Cleaning up.
Ms. Gilman, if I could ask you to push this forward to about 15 minutes and 45 seconds. And Ms. Traers, from the date and time stamp up there, about what time is this, does it say on the screen?
12:16 a.m.
And Ms. Gilman, if you could play this from this point till about 16 minutes and 8 seconds. You could pause there just for a moment. The individual sort of walking from the top of the screen down towards the bottom, towards that front door area, is that where the front door is?
Yes.
And again, if you could, just for the jury, just using the laser pointer, direct their attention to where that front door is.
Right here.
And you recognize who that person was?
Yep.
Okay. Who was
Yes.
that?
That's me.
And you were basically taking the trash out, correct?
Yes.
Ms. Gilman, if you could, just run it through to that 16 over. Thank you. You can stop there, and you can take that down, Ms. Gilman. Thank you very much. Now, from that evening of January 28th, 2022, I'm going to ask just a couple of people's names and then ask if you know them or recognize them as far as sort of people that you've seen in that establishment before. Okay? First, with respect to John O'Keefe.
I know of him.
And was he someone that you had seen in the waterfall before when you were working there?
A couple times.
Did you know him specifically by name, or did you just sort of know him as a familiar face?
First name.
And what is it typically that, as a bartender, what is it typically that he would sort of order or get when he was?
I couldn't tell you. Don't know.
And really, I'm just asking as far as the beer versus cocktail versus whatever else, if you know.
I'd say beer.
And do you recall seeing him in the waterfall on January 28th?
Yes.
And could you describe what, if any, interaction you had with him or when about that was in the evening?
He came up to order a beer.
And at the end of the night, there was one group that was sort of the last group to leave, is that correct?
Yes.
And where were they sort of situated in the bar?
The high top, yeah, in the lounge, closest to the bar.
And what, if any, association did you see with Mr. O'Keefe with regard to that group?
I believe he was standing with them.
Could you keep your voice up, please?
Yes.
Thank you.
And ma'am, if you want, so that microphone, you can move anywhere you want, so whatever is most comfortable. Thanks. Now, were you familiar with anybody as far as a female party that would accompany Mr. O'Keefe to the waterfall on that or prior occasions?
No.
And had you seen Mr. O'Keefe in there with or without any sort of female companionship?
Previously?
Yes.
No. Not that I'm aware of.
I'm sorry?
Not that I'm aware of.
Not true. Now, with regard to Christopher Albert, did you know him?
I know of him.
And you're familiar with him as far as someone who came into the waterfall on occasion?
On occasion, yes.
About how often would he be in?
Once every few months.
And do you recall him on the evening of January 28th?
I actually don't remember.
And anybody, as far as anybody else from the Albert family, as far as a Brian Albert, were you familiar with him?
I know of them.
And do you recall him being there on January 28th?
Yes.
And where was he in relation to the group that was at the high top table closest to the bar?
Same area.
And who, if anyone else from that group, did you recognize or did you know on that evening?
The only people I would have recognized would be Brian Higgins and Brian Albert's wife.
And do you even know what Brian Albert's wife's name is?
I forget.
And Mr. Higgs, is that someone that you had seen in there on prior occasions?
On occasion, yes.
And as far as Mr. Brian Albert, is that someone that you had seen there on prior occasions as well?
Same, on occasion.
And had you seen Mr. Higgins and Mr. Brian Albert there together on prior occasions as well?
Yes.
I may have just one moment, John.
Okay.
Now, at some point following that evening of January 28th, do you recall troopers from the state police coming to the waterfall, speaking with you and speaking with the owner of the waterfall?
I spoke with them, not at Waterfall.
And are you at least aware that they received from the establishment not only the video, but some receipts from that evening as well?
Yes.
And have you seen those receipts on some prior date?
1.
Your Honor, may I approach?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
May I approach the witness, Your Honor?
Yes.
Showing your three-page documents, just ask in general terms, do you recognize what those appear to be?
Yes.
And obviously, you work at the waterfall, you've seen receipts that are generated by the establishment before, correct?
Yes.
Do those appear to be receipts from the waterfall?
Yep.
Is there any sort of date?
I'm sorry, was there a yes or no answer?
Yes.
Thank you.
And with respect to the receipts that I've placed before you, do they have a date on them?
Yes.
And what is the date?
1/28/22.
Your Honor, may I approach?
Yes.
Call will seek to introduce and admit as the next exhibit.
Okay.
No objection.
Okay. Thank you.
I may have one moment, Your Honor.
Yes.
And Mr. Ayers, just one last question. With regard to some of the people that I'd asked you about, as far as Mr. O'Keefe, Brian Albert, Brian Higgins, Christopher Albert, any of those parties that you knew them sort of exclusively through your work at the waterfall, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Gianetti?
Thank you, Your Honor. Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
We've never met, correct?
No.
You had been a bartender at the waterfall for how many years?
About 7.
And that was prior to January of 2022? Or you've now been there for 7 years as of today?
As of today.
As of today. Prior to being a bartender at the waterfall, did you have another bartending job somewhere else?
Yes.
Where was that?
I've worked at a couple places.
In what towns or cities?
A couple in Canton.
And the couple in Canton, was that immediately prior to moving to the waterfall?
Yes.
All right. And we don't have to get into the names of them, but how many years were you a bartender in Canton prior to going to the waterfall?
Prior to the waterfall, about 4.
Okay. So for about the last 11 years, you've been a bartender at one establishment or another in the town of Canton, correct?
Yes.
Are you from Canton?
I am.
Did you grow up in Canton?
Yes.
And you no longer live in Canton?
I recently moved back.
Now you're back to Canton. I got you, okay. And you had, I believe, testified on direct examination that you either know or know of the Albert family, correct? You would agree with me that they are a well-known family in the town of Canton?
Objection.
Overruled.
Do I answer that?
Yes, you can answer. You can answer.
Said overruled, so you can.
I would say yes.
Okay. And how many members of the Albert family do you know either personally or professionally? And by professionally, I mean, obviously, you're a bartender, and personally means that you know them in some other way.
It would only be professionally, and
Okay.
I'd say 3 or the whole family of the Alberts. Is that what you're asking?
Yes.
5 of them.
Okay. And if I asked you the names of the Albert family that you know, would you be able to tell this jury?
Yes.
If you would do that, please.
There's Brian Alberts, Chris Alberts, I can't remember their wives' names
Okay.
at the moment.
You know their wives by,
Yeah.
by face?
Yeah, and then Brian's daughter, Caitlin.
Okay. And specifically with regard to Caitlin Albert, can you tell us, is there a difference in age between the two of you? Is she closer to your age than the others?
She's closer to my age. She's younger than me.
Okay. Did you see Caitlin Albert at the waterfall on the night of January 28th into the 29th of 2022?
Yes.
You also mentioned that you had seen somebody named Brian Higgins there, correct?
Correct.
He was somebody that you recognized prior to that day, correct?
Correct.
And how did you know or come to recognize Brian Higgins?
From Waterfall.
Did you know his name, specifically his last name, on January 28th when you were working that night?
Yes.
When did you learn his name, if you remember?
I don't remember.
At some point in the past, when he'd been in the bar, for some reason you knew his name, Brian Higgins.
Here, yes.
And you had testified, I believe, on direct examination that you had seen Brian Higgins with Brian Albert at the waterfall on prior occasions.
Correct.
So, Ms. Gianetti, it's time for lunch. I don't imagine you'll finish in 5 minutes, right?
It won't be too much longer than that, but it's probably good to take a break.
Okay, thank you. All right, Ms. Gianetti.
Thank you, Ron. Good afternoon again, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
I believe you testified that you knew John O'Keefe as a prior customer in the bar, correct?
Correct.
And that particular night, John appeared to be in a good mood. Would you agree?
Yes.
In fact, John is a pretty good tipper.
I wouldn't really know.
But with regard to that particular night, there was one receipt that was introduced in Exhibit 54. You probably didn't take a close look at it.
No.
But if I suggested to you that there was a receipt for a total of $16.58 worth of drinks, and John put a tip down of $10, that'd be a pretty good tip, right? And do you need to see the receipt to confirm that, or
No.
that makes sense?
Yeah.
Okay. And that night, John's demeanor seemed fine. Would you agree?
Yes.
You didn't notice John buying drinks for a woman that night, did you?
No.
And with regard to your, sort of scanning the people that were there within that group, one of your duties as a bartender is to make sure that nobody's overserved, right?
Correct.
And so, while you don't watch every movement all the time, you do look for signs that somebody might be overserved, correct?
Correct.
And with regard to the group that came in, the receipts for which you were shown today, nobody really seemed highly intoxicated to you, correct?
No.
If I may just have a moment?
Yes.
I have no further questions. Thank you, ma'am.
No redirect, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Treyas, thank you very much.
Thank you.